efforts of the Ministry of Education to boost the delivery of education through technology, the Minister for Education, through the Center for National Distance Learning and Open Schooling, has completed a digital TV platform dubbed Channel MOE and is preparing to launch it next month. Now, Mr. Nana Gyamfi Adwabour is my guest this morning, and we're having a conversation of this very, very important. It's absolutely important. Now, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
On being adjudged CEO of the Year at the Ghana CEOs Awards. How do you feel about such a recognition? Let's start there.
Thank you so much, Natalia. Firstly, greetings to your listeners, and I bring you greetings from the Honorable Minister for Education and the Ministry as a whole. And we are so much passionate about supporting and transforming education. And it feels very good for that recognition, because the works that I have been doing in the system in transforming distance education has been recognized. That serves as a motivation. Any CEO that your works has been recognized, it motivates you to even do more. So that award came in as a time that I needed that recognition from the people of Ghana, because when I took distance education, it wasn't at this level globally and continentally. Now Ghana is being recognized as one of the major or the force when it comes to digital education, thanks to my team at CENDLOS, and of course the direction and leadership from the Ministry of Education, and of course from the Minister. We are getting there. I know it's work in transition, but we know we are going somewhere with it. Thank you.
That is wonderful. Now, National Distance Learning and Open Schooling, that's CENDLOS, right? Tell us what your mandate is.
Very good. Our mandate is very simple. We are to infuse ICT into education. Our work to bring it to a layman's perspective. We go into a brick and mortar classroom, talk and chalk, like what we are used to, a teacher standing in front of a classroom teaching close to 50 students. We have to emulate it online to make sure everything they do in classroom is being mimicked online, digitally, using digital and robust tools. That is what we do for the people of Ghana, from basic school to senior high school, and tertiary soon to be the Open University for Ghana.
Right. And I've seen, especially in recent times, I've seen a lot of parents talk about, the fact that they would want to homeschool their children. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
In recent times, I see a lot of parents who say things like, I'd rather do that. With distance learning now in the system or coming into the system, would you say, and because you just said that, from primary level all the way to tertiary, so would you say that a child could stay at home and still be connected to the classroom through what you do?
Exactly so. If you look at the significant project or the project that this government bestowed on the people of Ghana in the free SHS, it has really brought a lot of students to the classrooms. Now, if you are looking for students then before people to even work in places, it's difficult. Everybody has gone to the schools because of free SHS. But if you do or delve deeper using research and other stuff, there's quite still some significant number of people still on the street, still needs to be able to get access to quality education. Other places like even Rwanda and other jurisdictions in Africa, you could see the leverage on distance education and digital means. So hence, homeschooling, we know it's something that the government is so much keen to see how we can leverage on that to give more education to people. So distance education and homeschooling, it goes together. So it will give these persons on the street also access to come. It could be through remedials, top-ups, or maybe, let's take it, a lady or a young girl that through anything of not her fault, maybe teenage pregnancy, she felt and now she's at home, can also have access through remedials and other means digitally to get back to school. So distance education and the digital things that I am doing and leading at CENDLOS is one of the pivotal areas that any 21st century country will leverage on to give access to students to develop socioeconomically for the country. So this is fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, great to know. How effective is distance learning?
Very good question. For a distance learning to be effective, certain pillars has to be in place. One, there has to be a policy that needs to govern homeschooling and distance education in any country.
Right.
Their policy has to be very comprehensive. It needs to be deeper to look at the students, the teachers, even parents and administrators, what they can do. Policy will look at inclusivity. It will look at equity and quality. Policy will look at the devices and other stuff. So without a policy, distance education, homeschooling will not thrive or triumphant. So we look at all that. And at the Ministry of Education, we are working on ICT policy now to govern in that space. We already have a policy. I want the people of Ghana to know, but it's going under a reform to capture the newness in digital education like artificial intelligence, robotics and coding and all that, because the pace of technology is at a different orbit and ambit. So we need to make sure that we capture all the newness at every given time. So we have ESP 2018 to 2030. That is the education strategic plan. So we are opening, we are broadening it to capture these new faces. That is the policy. You need to look at infrastructure. Infrastructure, we talk about connectivity and data center and digital devices. The connectivity in Ghana now is at 70%. We still have 30% deficit. We need to work on that to make sure that distance education will thrive. But nevertheless, you can use offline solutions for the people in the 30% without connectivity. That is what CENDLOS, we have the iBox and other devices to capture that. The other pillar is content. With your tablet, anything distance education, it will look very effective with quality content. Content that speaks to your curriculum. Content that you can leverage on it to determine the outcomes of your education, to build your benchmarks, the parameters that will make students look very ready for the 21st century. So CENDLOS, we are working with stakeholders to produce that kind of content for the people of Ghana. Again, capacity building is the fourth pillar. Teachers must be trained, students must be trained, parents must be trained. We don't want to leave parents out. Anybody in the parameters or in the jurisdiction of distance education should receive training to make sure it becomes very effective. The other pillar is assessment, which is crucial. The fidelity of distance education depends on assessment. Without good, robust assessment tools, nobody will take it serious. They will say it's ineffective. So CENDLOS, we are leveraging on 21st century assessment tools to make sure the universities and even the senior high schools, the basic schools, they get some of these tools to be able to control the assessment bit. And the last part is the curriculum, which is very crucial. But thank God, Ghana now we have a standard-based curriculum. At first, we have objective-based, which was more teacher-centric. Now we have opened it up to make it a little bit student-centric. So it allows the student to do self-directed learning and take technology serious and project-based. So STEM education, which the minister is championing, is being supported by this curriculum. Without the curriculum, distance education will be rendered ineffective because whatever you do is not being supported by the curriculum. So now we are good to go as a country, and CENDLOS, through my leadership, we are achieving that as of now.
Wonderful. Now, would you say that because of the curriculum that is used, for a child that may be involved or may be signed on to distance learning, right? Would they match up to a child who's in a physical classroom? Should the two come together? Will they be on the same level?
Yes. they would be on the same level, because whatever they are teaching in classroom is the same thing we are even improving upon online.
Okay.
Now, if you go to many places, including some African countries, the online education is now even becoming more stronger because of the tools. And like I mentioned, those pillars doing it, coming together right with the collaboration with other stakeholders. And I repeat, collaboration with stakeholders, we could actually achieve a superior distance education to the traditional level, because every stakeholder will play their role. And when I mention stakeholders, we are talking about the private sector, the industry, the academia, all of them coming together, and the public sector. We have NTC, we have GES, we have TVET, we have GTech, all of them, NASIA, we all come together, UNESCO, UNICEF, MasterCard, PEBICAPS, everybody coming together, which CENDLOS is providing that leadership as of now, and we will achieve effective distance education. So I see it in the next 2-3 years with the direction that the minister is going with education, with a transformation agenda. I see distance education doing very well. Now, globally, they recognize Ghana as a force when it comes to distance education.
Okay.
Continentally, you go to any African countries, you mention EdTech, education technology, they say go to Ghana. They are leading the pace when it comes to that. Hence, I was voted the best CEO for innovations and technology. It means things are happening in the digital space.
Right. It means you're doing a wonderful job.
Fantastic.
Now, I know your outfit started or led the conversation on one student, one tablet.
Yes.
How's that going?
Very perfect. It's going well. See, the fulcrum of that project targeted on quality ambit. You know, the whole idea was Ghana Smart School project. When I spoke, I already said that the pillars, you need digital devices. And for SDG 4, that talks about equity, quality, and access to be deepened. All these has to be improved on. Remember, the SDG 4 is at the last lap. You know, it's for 20 up to 2030. Now we are in 2024, 6 years for every country to see where they are. So the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, felt that if I'm giving free education through the free SHS, now let me look at the quality. And the minister, everybody, we did a research and assessment to make sure what exactly we need to improve on as far as quality is involved. And the tablets came to being. So the tablet is to deepen the free SHS, to make sure, the free TVET, to make sure that quality is being given, and to give these students the liberty, the flexibility, the affordability to study at will with teachers incorporated, so they can compete 21st century with other nations that is already doing it, to make sure we can give them that critical thinking, creativity, good communication skills, and good collaboration. Because now where the world is going, Natalia, we are in the 21st century, fourth industrial revolution. I don't know if Ghana participated in other revolution, but the fourth industrial revolution is about even to end to fifth. So we need to train, to captivate that revolution, to make the students ready so they can compete. At CENDLOS, we are leading the front, and I focus on 4 key things. When it comes to digital education, planning must go on, and planning sits between your objectives and your outcome. That should tell you how you plan for distance education, and your focus has to be human-centered, equity, inclusivity, and access. The inclusivity is very crucial because you need to make sure persons with disability are factored in, gender is factored in, and you need to make sure you give everybody a digital rights online, just like they have physical right. Article 25(1)(c) talks about educational right. That is what we are encompassing it to achieve it online. So we are doing a great job at CENDLOS.
At CENDLOS. So are you saying essentially that every student at this particular moment has a tablet?
Right now, it's a phase implementation, and we are going to make sure all the 1.4 million students in SHS. Remember, this project is being started at senior high school. Let me repeat it: senior high school 1, 2, and 3. So once all of them is given, then we will look at the basic from KG and basic 1 up to 6 and junior high school. So that is where it started now. So that one, we have 1.4 million students, and it's in phase implementation because this whole thing was being guided by the research we did, and a checklist we populated. So every school, we are ready to bring your tablets. The tablets is already in the country, but the schools we are ready to bring you in. We need to make sure we come there, do assessment to make sure everything is in place, like security doors, everything, your connectivity, your lightning, everything is in place.
Before the tablets are
Electrification,
given.
if you don't have electricity, we need to work with other stakeholders, ECG, to get you ready. We are not going to take any school out. You are getting it because it's already there.
Within what time frame?
Yes, the time frame, I know we started it early this year. So by the end of this year, I know all the schools will be done. Like I said, it's already in the district. The
so
tablet
before
is here.
December ends, every secondary school student in Ghana will have a tablet.
I can confirm that. It should be done.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. I find that's very interesting. Some parents may also worry, especially if it's on a basic level, worry about, obviously it will mean that I have to get maybe a laptop, a tablet, something for my child in order for them to join on the distance learning. Of course, that's how they link up to the teachers, right? Because it's virtual.
Yes.
Some parents may have a problem with that. Also because you did say that there are just some people who are underprivileged. It's the reason why they are not in school in the first place. And if they are going to do distance learning, obviously they need the tools to be able to do it.
Good.
Is there any accommodation for people who may struggle getting the tools?
That is why the Channel MOE plays a significant role, the TV station. If you go to UK, if you go to USA, even Rwanda and South Africa, you could see that distance education, the crucial tool they use is TV station. I went to Open UK in Milton Keynes. They are working with BBC and other TV stations to deliver their content to students. So now we have Channel MOE out, soon to be launched September 26th of this month. Once we launch it, all the content that will be on the tablets will also be on the TVs. So because 78% persons per UNICEF Innocenti data said 78 persons or students leverage 78% students leverage on TV station during the COVID to receive educational content, and 50% through radio. So now we know that TV is playing a role. So parents and teachers and other people that don't want to use tablets or they don't have it, the TV station is there. Remember, we are leveraging on all traditional low point technology. We are not leaving anybody out. So the TV station will come in, the radio station, the tablets, even the mobile phones, and those that don't have any of them, then we come with the offline tools. That is the iBox, which CENDLOS have it. No connectivity is needed. We'll bring it to you with content on it. Then you study. So no stones going to be left. We are going to make sure everyone receive education as and when we are ready.
Okay,
and we are going,
that's wonderful. So we're going to wrap up the conversation, but will that also mean that for basic level, they will write exam with the other students, or how does it work? Will the exam also be offline?
Yes, when it comes to examination, that is where the assessment came in. With the assessment bit, we are now doing formative, summative, and even self-directed assessment. We are looking at all that.
Right.
But when it comes to assessment, we have tools for that. Assessment for preparation, assessment for examination, assessment during report, and psychometric analysis. All of them are being in place, robust tools to make sure we can assess online so kids are not going to cheat. We look at the safety and protection of these kids online. So assessment to safety on assessment and protection to make sure the right student is taking the exam. So other means to log in, biometrics, iris, and other stuff, and we will do what we call the dialer delay. When a student leave the tablet or the device that they are using to take in the exams for a certain seconds, it will log them off. It has to be the same person that can be recognized that will log in. So anybody cannot come and sit to do what to sit exams for the person. So without the footprint or the thumbprint, you can log in with your iris and other stuff. And student will be made to log in using the email address that we will give to them, because we will do monitoring on the tablets 24/7 to know what they are doing on it. So education is being really transformed in Ghana.
Okay. Nana, tell me about the Open University. What is that about?
Very good. The Open University is a policy that I know most of our senior persons, the minister, is so endeared about it. And this will support the growth of any country, and Ghana is part of it. Once you open the university, putting measures in place for other people to also receive degrees and study other things, it helps the economy to grow. So that is what the decision makers are hoping to do.
Okay.
But we need to put measures in place. We have 5 kinds of open university or styles. We have the open entry. We have the open distance. The open entry is so long as you pay your school fees, you are ready, you can read and write, you have all the requisite requirements, you could take an open university classes and see if you can be part of the school and get passes as you keep going on. The open distance is whereby you take an entry exams to get into that open university.
Okay.
We have the hybrid, that you go online, partly in class and partly online, and other tools are being used. We have the micro credentials that people, they already have bachelors, but they want to top up, or they have HND, they have other courses, TVET and other stuff they want to top up. We can decide to do the open university in a micro credential part. And catalysts, like an institution like CENDLOS, that will run the open university for Ghana. And you go to UK, they have such there. They have an institution like that is running their open university. So CENDLOS play a major role.
Okay.
So with this explanation, you could see that Ghana's open university, if it comes to being, it will help out. Remember, the African Development Bank once said, and I quote, any country in Africa that wants to develop when it comes to their socio-economic or economically, must take STEM education and innovations very serious and has to give these kind of access through open education and other stuff to the awards and students.
Okay.
So this is a crucial part we need to look at. And Ghana, I think through the Minister of Education, we are not leaving anything out, and we don't want to leave any person out.
Okay.
We want degrees to come to everyone. Once you can write an exams, you can pass, you can actually go through the assessment, and you receive your degree in the discipline you are looking for, and it will build the economy. So I support the open university agenda.
Okay. And will that happen anytime soon in Ghana?
Yes, I think a committee has been formed by the Honorable Minister for Education. There has been a discussion ongoing already, which I'm part of the committee. Professor Anamwa Mensah is the head of the committee, among others. And we have traveled to UK to understudy the Open UK and other places. So it's still ongoing. Discussion are still ongoing. Of course, you need cabinet approval and parliamentary approval and other stuff. Once we get that, I think we are ready. Even with a TV station at CENDLOS and this kind of setup we have at CENDLOS, we are ready to power the Open University to that height, to make sure education move from theory to practicals and to students, so they can be more effective and become effective and supporting citizens to develop their country.
Okay. I see you have some brilliant ideas when it comes to education. What would you say is the level of collaboration between you and the Minister for Education?
Oh, I work for the Minister for Education. CENDLOS is an agency under the Ministry of Education. It has been there since 2002. The name was President Special Initiative on Distance Learning, and it went to changes and became CENDLOS. We are a full-blown agency under the ministry. All what we are doing is under the directives of the Honorable Minister for Education and the Ministry for Education. So we collaborate with them and all the agencies. I can't go to the schools without GES. I can't talk to teachers without NTC. I can't do inspection without NASIA. I can't go to TVET school without Ghana TVET. I can't do certain project without UNESCO, UNICEF, MasterCard Foundation, and the World Bank, and all other stakeholders, the private, the public sector. I work with some of the universities. I am on the board for UCC Distance Education. So that spells the collaboration we are talking about here.
Okay, that is wonderful.
Good.
What will your final words be, with regards to everything? Now, a lot of parents or a lot of stakeholders are opening their minds to the reality of distance learning. It has come to stay, and it will be here with us. So, in conclusion, what would you say?
Yeah, in conclusion, I want all parents and all stakeholders, Ghanaians as a whole, to know that education is going through transition. And we have to accept that open university or distance education is where education is going now. If you look at certain places, artificial intelligence has now taken over. AI is doing everything. We have the generative AI, we have a lot of prompt engineering, robotics and coding. Everything is ICT. We need to accept that the jurisdiction and the times we are in calls for distance and open university. The good news is we have laws and other things that support it, and the leadership that is in place now understand it, and we are going to make sure education really live to where we want it to be. Every child, irrespective of location, will receive education through the open university. We are not going to leave anybody out through distance education and other stuff.
Okay.
We are building education better as we continue to do it. In the West and the West of our own Kofi Annan, he said education is a human right. If you go to other places, Nelson Mandela will say education is the weapon to build any nation. So believe it. Now it's EdTech, it's educational technology. If any of them were still living, I know they will infuse technology somewhere, because that is where education is going. And they are in the right hands, and CENDLOS is providing that leadership for them. In the words of Jamie Johnson, he said, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the little extra. I think all of us should come together to give that little extra to make education great for all of us to build Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nana Gyamfi Adwabour. He is the CEO for the Center for National Distance Learning and Open Schooling, CENDLOS. It's been so good having you, and now that we have the entire explanation of how this will go, we appreciate you coming through to have this conversation. Before you go, though, do you listen to music?
Yes, I do.
Well, what is it that you love listening to?
What you were playing.
Yeah, that's
Joe
gone.
Thomas.
You love Joe Thomas.
Amachi Dede and
You like
Daddy
Amachi Dede.
Lumba.
So if I ask to play you one song right now, what would it be?
Give me Daddy Lumba.
Daddy Lumba. Which one? Anyone?
This one, when we were kids, they used to play Hiasam. Do you have that one?
Hiasam.
Aye, Sikasam.
Sikasam.
Yeah, do you have that one?
Sikasam ne ye na hiasam de yempe hiasam. Yepe sikasam.
Yetia ye build the garden say sikabe bo bia butum. So any on fe nu shim na na Adwabour miss me na da me ho kakra.
Thank you so much for coming. This is The Zone. This is Starr 103.5 FM. My name is Natalia. Beautiful Thursday morning. And allow me to shout out this man. His name is Enoch Nketia Gyamfi. You're tuned in. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Are we ready, MJ? Here we go.